Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi is finally here, and this is directed by Rian Johnson and is about Rey, Luke, Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader Snoke, Chewbacca, and CP3O, R2-D2, BB-8 in a fun space adventure. I'm not going to tell you too much about this movie because the trailers do a pretty good job of not telling you what the whole movie is about, and you kind of just go into it with an open mind about what the plot is going to be. But me, I kind of theorized about what things would be about, and I left this movie theater feeling somewhat unsatisfied and a little bit disappointed. I think that is all due to me. I think I shot myself in the foot with this one because I was highly anticipating this movie to the point where I would just theorize so much about Supreme Leader Snoke and Rey and Kylo Ren's relationship. I was just theorizing so much, and when things don't really plan out like how I thought they would be, then you start to run into those disappointment areas. And I think that this movie was a little bit disappointing with its storyline, its structure, and some other things, but there is some highly satisfying, entertaining moments in this movie. Let's start with the good positives first. There is some really good lightsaber battles, some of the best I have seen in any of the Star Wars movies. They are so entertaining. It is so pleasing to see such great choreographed moments with those lightsaber battles. There's also really great space battle sequences with the Resistance and the First Order. A lot of those moments are really thrilling and open up the movie on a really high note. The acting is terrific. Once again, I really like Daisy Ridley's take on Rey. Luke Skywalker, played by Mark Hamill, did a great job, and moments really did feel like classic, original trilogy Luke Skywalker that we have seen before. A lot of those moments kind of felt like his old character. And there's a lot of love going in this movie from Rian Johnson. You can tell that he has such care in building this movie and a lot of care with the Star Wars universe as a whole. I liked Kylo Ren's story in here. He's a little conflicting once again. You can tell from the first movie that he's bad, but he has like that glimpse of goodness in him, and it's very conflicting in this movie as well, and it makes for a fun, enjoyable moment with Kylo Ren and figuring out what is he going to do, because you really don't know the route he's going to take, so that makes it for an interesting view. But put all that aside, the fun lightsaber moments, the characters, I couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed and unsatisfied when watching this movie. One thing that really struck me in the wrong way in the beginning of the film is the humor. There is a lot of humor in this movie. It's probably one of the most Star Wars films. It's probably one of the Star Wars films that has the most jokes in it, and I could tell that their intention was to be hilarious at times, but there are a lot of moments where I can feel they're going for some dramatic sequences, and then they end it with a joke or some funny sequence, and I just didn't laugh. There was a few times where I was honestly irritated with some of the jokes that they decided to play out on screen. It really irritated me because I wanted to see certain scenes kind of be extended and feel more dramatic, feel more weight to it, but instead they went that hilarious route and it just did not work. There are a few times where I did giggle and I thought it was pretty funny and cute, but for most of the jokes, they came at the wrong time. A lot of scenes where I was just really irritated with the humor. There's also a lot of moments for a good majority of the film where they're bouncing back and forth between different storylines. There's a lot of things going on in this movie, and it just jumps back and forth between scenes really quick to where you don't get that development for certain sequences or certain characters or whatever they're doing. You don't get that development. You don't feel that strength that is built. You don't feel that strength that could have been built on. I understand that certain sequences are imperative to the plot as a whole, but I'd rather see certain sequences extended a little to strengthen them instead of them being really short to where you kind of feel like you're missing something. And that goes on, unfortunately, for a lot of the movie, and then we run into another issue that is part of that, and that is Finn and Rose's storyline. They have to go on this mission to help out the Rebel Alliance, but I just did not like their storyline because it really did feel pointless once everything was said and done. And it's not like Finn was a bad character or Rose was a bad character, but their mission, their storyline was a bad storyline to be told. And then it made me not really like either Finn or Rose in that particular scene. And it just went on for a long time. If they really would have cut that out, they really could have strengthened Luke and Rey's relationship, or Kylo Ren and Supreme Leader Snoke, and really building what this whole movie is really about, building it and strengthening at its core instead of having some side things going on that really kind of felt like George Lucas's Star Wars, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, kind of that kind of corny. There is some moments in this movie where honestly it is a slap in the face to a lot of characters, and they just really make me scratch my head about certain sequences. But as a whole, I would say that this movie is enjoyable. It does have some highly satisfying Star Wars moments. You can tell that there is a lot of care into this movie from Rian Johnson. The action is great, it is thrilling, it is top notch. I really love some of the action in this movie, but its structure and it jumping back and forth between scenes and having some side stuff going on and some of the humor just really got in the way of it being a highly satisfying overall experience. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I think me theorizing a lot about this movie and thinking about what it's going to end up like really kind of hurt me and the experience for the movie. But as a Star Wars fan, I did enjoy some moments, and I can't say it's a horrible film, but I guess I expected a little more. I'm going to go check it out again, and I'm going to do a spoiler-filled video with my friend Zach Pope, so definitely check that out. I'm going to be talking a little more about it, but right now, my grade for Star Wars The Last Jedi is a B. I really wanted to like it a lot more. I really wanted to see some other things play out, but what we got is a fun Star Wars movie with some really satisfying action sequences, really thrilling moments, but the structure and certain things just didn't pan out how I wanted it to be. But I can totally see why people really loved this movie. I think if I didn't theorize much about it, I think I would have liked it a little more. I'm going to go see it again this weekend, and I'm doing a spoiler-filled video, so definitely check that out where I can explain a little more about what I'm feeling. Thank you guys for watching this video. Stay tuned. This weekend I'll be ranking all 9 Star Wars films, including Star Wars Rogue One. Make sure to check that out. And if you guys like Blu-rays, Funko Pops, movies, and free stuff, consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification down below so you don't miss a thing. You guys are the best as always. This is Just Watch Movies, and may the Force be with you.